Okay, what's up, y'all? Good evening. Tigers win. LSU 20-10 over the Florida Gators. Welcome on in to Whiskey and Wine. LSU 20, Florida 10 is your final score. Tigers move to 3-0. Defense was absolutely incredible in this football game. 5 interceptions, as you heard on the broadcast. LSU hasn't done that since they intercepted Matt Corral 5 times in the Ole Miss game back in the COVID year. That was that game in the rain where Kayshon Boutte had over 300 receiving yards in the game. LSU just absolutely punked DJ Lagway. But you just got the reason why I said DJ Lagway sucks. Because he does. Great physical talent, and he's got plenty of room to improve and might. But he sucks. Let's get it straight, okay? DJ Lagway sucks. Can he get better? Sure, he can get better. Will he probably improve? Yes. Is he a great physical talent? Sure, he is. As an SEC quarterback right now, today, DJ Lagway sucks. And he sucked last year, too. Lagway threw for 450 and 3 tuds against Samford. You take that away. I know you can't take it away, but looking at when he was playing SEC opponents, his stats were the same as Michael Van Buren's at Mississippi State. Let's get real about what it is, bro. Y'all can marry yourself to recruiting rankings. You can acknowledge what it was. Now, LSU's offense, this stream ain't going to be about Florida. I don't give a good goddamn about Florida. Excuse me. Trying not to curse, but I'm going to tell y'all, if y'all watch my halftime stream after Whit Weeks got ejected, I teed off. I hope y'all would go back and watch it. I'm pissed off about that beyond belief. West Weeks calf strain is the word. Initially on radio, Gordy said it was knee. Later came back, clarified calf strain for West Weeks. But I'm pissed that Whit Weeks got ejected for targeting. I am beyond pissed. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all this. Welcome on in to Victorious Whiskey and Wine. Right? Let me get myself right, okay? Because this is a Victorious Whiskey and Wine. LSU beat Florida 20-10. The Tigers move to 3-0. Number 3 in the country. Braylon Moore made it through this game. Had a couple of holding penalties in the first half, which was not awesome to see. I think he was limited, but you made it through. And you made it through a game doing the one thing that you had to do. Brian, if you were watching the postgame just now on ESPN, Brian Kelly said it. He said, look, there's going to be times where you got to win a game a certain way. And this was one of those games. Talked about it all week. For anybody who watches Locked or listens to Locked on LSU, thank you for that. If you are on AFR, Morning Scone, get whatever, like said it all week over and over and over and over and over and over again. There was one fucking thing that Florida does really well. There's one fucking thing that Florida does really well that could have compromised LSU in this game. One. And it's their defensive line and their pass rush. So what did LSU do? They got rid of the ball quickly. I don't know. I'll look at PFF tomorrow. I don't know that Garrett Nussmeier threw a ball 20 yards in the air in this ball game. I'll have to go back and see. So I know I don't have to look. There's over 2,000 people watching right now, and I have much love for all of you. And probably 1,900 of you that are watching right now are going to say some bullshit about Joe Sloan and how he sucks and all that stuff. That's fine. So, I know. That's just the nature of it. That's what y'all are going to say. Fine, say that shit. The bottom line is there was one fucking thing that could have cost you this game. One. And it's the thing that cost you last year. If you would have let Florida's defensive front wreck Garrett Nussmeier. So what did they do? They got rid of the ball quickly. Short pass, screens, running game. And as a result, you didn't stretch the field. You didn't make the safeties respect it. And TJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions. Your defense pitched a shutout in the second half again. Same as against Clemson. They would have had a shutout against La Tech. But for the busted coverage at the end of the game. So your defense is awesome. You knew it was awesome. You were able to win this game by playing field position, playing great defense, and not making mistakes on offense. And Nuss made one gigantic fucking mistake in the third quarter, which is one of the most boneheaded plays he's made in his career. And to his credit, he has really cut out the mistakes up until this point. But that interception with just under 11 minutes to play in the ball game on a 3rd and 27 is one of those plays that you look at Garrett Nussmeier and you go, why? Like, why? You've just got to purge that out of your life. You've got to purge that play out of your life. Okay. Anyway, we're here at Casa de Scone. We appreciate you so much for being with us. Let that audience build. Thanks for hanging out. Tigers win 20-10. Let's go ahead and pour. Where's my? Oh God, dog it, y'all! I left my glass inside. Hang on one second. Well, I'll pour my glass. We'll do a 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Sorry. Dang, my bad, y'all. Apologies. All right, got a little E.H. Taylor. Let me know what y'all are pouring tonight. E.H. Taylor single barrel. Let's do it. Got me a Bocock cigar, the 100-year Tiger Stadium cigar. Bocock Brothers, by the way, if you go to bocockbrothers.com, use the code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15. You get 15% off your order. So if you are a cigar smoker, highly recommend. Again, E.H. Taylor single barrel, 100 proof, gorgeous pour, a beautiful amber color. Whew. Tigers beat the Gators. You're damn right. We're going to pour something nice. We're going to light this cigar as well. So go ahead and get this thing all lit up. We're going to get rolling here. A&M, Notre Dame just scored. Looks like they're going to put A&M away. 2:53 to go in that ball game. Notre Dame 40, A&M 34 with the PAT pennant. Well, I guess A&M get back here and try it. Oh, yeah. All right, y'all. Let's do this. Celebratory toast, because we will never, ever, 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 ever complain about beating the Florida Gators. Because I know some of y'all are way older than me, and respect, got love for all of you, okay? But for me, my first recollections of LSU football was in the 90s, and it was the Spurrier Florida Gators, and LSU just got the shit kicked out of them every single year. So anytime that the LSU Tigers beat the Florida Gators, I'm here for it. I love it. I love watching LSU intercept DJ Lagway 5 times. I love watching Sunbelt Billy cry on the sideline, try to get in his ear. I love watching the Florida players so pissed off at the end of the game that they know they're about to lose. They're shoving Braylon Moore into Nussmeier while LSU's taking a knee because they're a bunch of sore-ass losers and they're the worst program in the SEC for that shit. I'll never, ever, ever get sick of watching LSU beat the Florida Gators. So cheers. Go Tigers. Tigers win 3-0. LSU, number 3 in the country, and moving on up. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. Always love telling you about Parish Construction Roofing, parishbuilt.com. Roof repairs, replacements, commercial, residential, soft wash gutters. We do it all no matter where you are. We'd love to help you out. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Let me get that scrolling on the bottom with all of our sponsors. Big shout out as well to our friends at Got Lit Light Installers. So many of you have called Got Lit. Much respect and thank you. Got Lit Light Installers. It's gotlitlights.com is the website. It's super easy, y'all. It's literally this easy. You call Got Lit, they're going to give you a quote. They will bring, it's just for Christmas lights. They'll bring their lights, their setup, all of it. They do all the install, everything. If anything goes wrong during the season, the ball comes out, they fix it. At the end of the season, they can pick it up, haul it away, take it away. You do nothing except enjoy beautiful lights. If you're like me and you ain't going to lift a finger to do lights, call Got Lit. Gotlitlights.com, gotlitlights.com, gotlitlights.com. Much appreciation to Derek and the gang and the crew over at Got Lit Light Installers, gotlitlights.com. All right. Let's see. I want to get to your comments. Y'all know the drill. Fire away. Anything y'all got, we'll talk about the game. I'll run through some game flow. I'll give you my big picture takeaways of the game. And there it is. I'll give you my big picture takeaways of the game, and we'll run through game flow and all that good stuff. So thank you for being with us here. Here we go. I'm going to pin the Got Lit. I'm going to pin the Got Lit URL there in the chat. All right. A few things here as we get started. As I look at my notes from the game, if you were here at halftime, I went off. If you have interest in watching angry, red-faced, cursing Scone rant, Go back and watch my halftime show. I let it off talking about Whit Weeks' third defensive play of the game, and he's ejected. I think it is colossal bullshit. I cannot tell you how pissed off I am about this. I loathe the targeting rule. I understand the spirit of the targeting rule. We want to eliminate dangerous plays from college football, and I get that. We do not want people getting hurt. Nobody wants to see that. But both the defensive player and the offensive player, I'm okay trying to get rid of the violent, dangerous plays. Oh, look at A&M. What I can never be okay with is ejecting a player from a game for playing hard. I will never be okay with that. It is an absurdity that this continues to happen. You took an All-American, one of the best players in college football, off the field after 3 fucking defensive snaps for playing hard, for running to the football, for making a tackle. And you could say he lowered his head, all that sort of shit. Sure, by the letter of the law, targeting, I get it. The problem is the letter of the law is a colossal pile of bullshit. There has got to be, and I'll say this till I'd say blue in the face from red in the face. There has got to be for targeting the same standard as like in the NBA when you have flagrant 1 and flagrant 2. You have got to be able to sensibly legislate intent. And you could say, well, you can't legislate intent. Fuck, you can't. Who watched that game and thought Whit Weeks was out there trying to hurt somebody? Nobody. He was hustling to the football, making a play. Now, when dudes leave their feet, crown of the helmet, to a helmet, dangerous play for both parties, I'm with it. And even if you want to penalize Weeks, okay. But you cannot kick people out of the game for that shit. I just cannot tolerate this, man. I remember when LSU was playing Wisconsin in Lambeau in 2016. I have this vivid memory. I'm a very visual person. Like I have this photographic memory where I remember things visually. And I'm sitting on the bus on the way to Lambeau, 2016, and I'm watching a game on my phone, and someone gets ejected for targeting, and I tweeted at the time, like, what are we doing here? Like, we can all appreciate the intent of the rule, but you're not serving the intent, and that's awful. Like, kicking Whit Weeks out of the game for that it's teetotal bullshit. I'm thankful it happened in the first. Well, actually, I wish it had happened in the second half, so you can miss the first half of the Southeastern game because who gives a shit? But thankfully, it's not going to cost LSU more. Tigers caught a big break in this one with the holding penalty on the 87-yard touchdown. That was a major bust. I mean, they would have been up 10-0. They would have been up 10-0 in the first quarter. I mean, with right about 3 minutes to play in the first quarter, they would have been up 10-0 after that 87-yarder. But they got flagged for holding. Hat tip to the LSU defense for being super aggressive and forcing a lot of those penalties. Florida was their own undoing tonight, man. Florida threw 5 interceptions and committed 7 penalties, including the one there that took a touchdown off the board. I thought a huge part of the first half was after LSU scored a touchdown to go up 10-3, Florida immediately responded with their touchdown to tie it at 10. And it looked like we're going to go to half tied. I thought LSU getting the ball with 3:18 to play in the first half in a tie ball game needed to go get points there because Florida was getting the ball to start the second half. But LSU goes, LSU punts. Did they go 3 and out? Hang on. No, they converted it first. Aaron Anderson had the 14-yard reception. They converted a first down. Then they ended up punting. They had 4th and 2. Called the timeout. They were going to try to draw them off sides. Called the timeout. Punted. Florida got the ball at the minute 17. A.J. Halsey's interception. And I thought that was the play of the game right there. Because it got LSU the momentum. Instead of Florida maybe going to score before half and going back-to-back, LSU got the momentum there, got the lead. Florida got the ball to start the second half. Tigers forced a punt. And, after that, they went 3 and out. And then the Deshaun Spears pick six put LSU up 20-10, and that would be your final score. The Deshaun Spears interception ended up being the final scoring play of the game, which this was not a big day offensively. And listen, I want to say this. Josh Grisham here said 2 big plays padded the stats. I'm going to say this, Josh. I'm going to say this, and no one's going to look at this as a banner day offensively, okay? But you don't get to remove those plays. Those plays happened. They were perfectly called. They were perfectly executed. You don't remove those plays from the stat sheet. Listen, I might have said that years ago. I had that conversation with Hester, and his point was it's part of the game. And who knows whatever you did throughout the game that could have set up those plays. Now, even with those plays, it still was not a great night offensively for LSU. Tigers end up with 316 rush yards, and that was after Durham's 51-yarder. So you would have been hanging around 260 yards of offense until Caden Durham's 51-yarder at the end. But I'll say it again. I think, what Brian Kelly said there, realized, listen, offensively, it wasn't your day. You're going against a really good defensive front. Your offensive line had been compromised, and you had to play defense, play field position. Felt like a Les Miles game, quite honestly. And you can win games that way. I don't know if you can win championships that way, but you can win games that way. And they won this game. The offense is going to have to get better. I want to talk a little bit more about that here as we move throughout. Hey, we're over 3,000 watching live. God bless you. Thank you so much. Please smash that like button on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you're on Facebook. Like the page, share the post. Again, all of our sponsors are here. Scrolling on the bottom. I got them linked in the description as well. So thanks for being there with us. How about Deshaun Spears with 2 interceptions in the ball game? We talked about West Weeks. How about Island Singleton and Devon Keys, and then Zach Weeks at the end of the ball game getting in there. Now, my thought was Zach Weeks was certainly going to redshirt. They'd play him in 4 games, and this is his first action of the season so far, and he played there in the 4th quarter. But I'm telling you, man, he is a big physical dude. He is bigger than he's bigger than Witt and West. And you're talking about a dude that should be playing his senior year of high school is out there taking snaps against Florida Gators. So how about Devon Keys, man? This bears mentioning, okay? Witt Weeks goes out after 3 plays. Devon Keys has to go into the ballgame. Now, Devon Keys is not Witt Weeks, but Devon Keys in this football game had 14 tackles, y'all. He led LSU with 14 tackles, half a sack, and a TFL. West Weeks had 12 tackles in the ballgame. Tamarcus Cooley, 9. Harold Perkins, 6. Halsey, 6. But major hat tip to the young linebackers. They have recruited very well at that position, and the future is bright, man. Devon Keys, 14 tackles. To see Tylen Singleton go in there when West Weeks got hurt. To see Zach Weeks get out there and run around. And then you have other talented young guys, Keelan Moses, who's battled a little bit of an injury. We haven't seen him yet this year, but you have some really good young talented linebackers running around out there. So, Perk will be gone after this year. Witt likely is going to go pro after this year. We'll see. West is going to graduate. So you're going to have a lot of new faces in that linebacker room next year stepping up. But, man, what great experience for those guys in this ball game today. So, all right. All right, y'all. Victory Cigar, courtesy of Bocock. Remember, if you go to BocockBrothers.com, use code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. Okay, let's run through some game flow. Let me just actually real quick, let me just give some shout-outs here to y'all watching. Appreciate y'all. Tigers 96. Offense is horrible. I'll tell you what, man. Tigers win, and we're going to complain. But, man, it's when you have high expectations. Appreciate y'all. If we get to 8 wins, it'll be a miracle with this offense. That's one of the stupidest fucking things you could ever possibly say. They're already at 3, and you've still got games against Southeastern next week, and you've got Western Kentucky still down the line. Let me talk about that for a second here. I want to talk about that for a second, and let me talk about this one too in conjunction. So Landon said, "There's no way you can justify how bad the offense is. Sloan's over his head. Somebody else needs a shot at play call." Okay. Shocker. The lowest common denominator fans are just going to say the OC sucks. Fine. Okay. Nobody wants to hear this right now. I get it. But I'm going to give you my perspective, Okay, and when it, and I'll give you a benchmark in the season when I would say, okay, I agree. I'm not pushing the panic button on the offense yet. Okay, hear me out. Please hear me out. Okay, let's have civil discourse. Hear me out. I'm not going to yell and scream. I'm not going to call anybody names. Let's have civil discourse. Just hear me out. LSU goes on the road to Clemson, and Clemson lost today to a good Georgia Tech team. But can we all agree Clemson has really good players defensively? Even that game against Georgia Tech, like Clemson's defense played well. We can agree Clemson has good talent on defense. LSU, 5 new starters on the offensive line on the road at Clemson, batshit environment. They go through that whole situation, Woods, Parker, all that stuff, and LSU plays a conservative offensive game plan. They don't stretch the field. What loosened everything up was when they started with the shallow crosses. Aaron Anderson ended up with 8-9 catches, whatever it was. Bauer Sharp had 8 catches. Anderson and Sharp, right? And by the way, Garrett Nussmeier was named National Offensive Player of the Week after that game. Okay, didn't light up the stat sheet, right? But got robbed of a touchdown that Brown should have had. Bauer Sharp had the 30-yarder down the sideline where he just barely missed scraping his toe. I mean, you'd been talking about maybe another 60 yards passing, another touchdown. Anyway, you go into last week, and last week is what it was. It was a shitty game against a shitty opponent. Nobody was up for it. I get it. You'd love to lean on him a little bit. The 3-3-5 stack was hard. BK said it. By the second half, you'd seen it. You should have done better. I agree with you. They should have played better. Nobody gave a fuck last week. It was the fans didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck. You didn't give a fuck. Players didn't give a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck last week. That's what it was. Going into this game, and we talked about it all week. Again, if you listen to me on AFR, Morning Scone, Locked on LSU, here, anywhere, you listen to me, anything I've said all week, I spent 90% of the week talking about Braylon Moore's injury, the offensive line against Florida's defensive front, because last year when you dominated the stat sheet, one thing fucked you up. It was Florida's defensive front. That's it. That's the thing that fucked you up. They had 7 sacks, 11 TFLs, 14 hurries. I mean, I know the stats. I've looked at the PA. I looked at them all week. I've said them 100 times all week. 14 hurries, 20 pressures. Like, that's the one thing that you couldn't let beat you. The one thing was their defensive front. So you go into this ball game knowing their offense has struggled. I know they scored 55 against Long Island. Fuck Long Island. They scored that offense. Florida's offense scored 16 points against South Florida on their home field. They 16 points on their home field to Long Island. Okay, I got a feeling in Baton Rouge night game, LSU's defense. Your defense played pretty good against Florida, which they did. The one thing you couldn't have happen is what happened last year. Let their defensive line fuck you up. Kill drives, cause turnovers, negative plays, all that stuff. So they didn't. They went short passing game, intermediate. Like they just, I don't know. Whenever PFF releases all the stats, I'll go look at it. But I don't think Nuss threw a ball that went 20 yards in the air tonight. Maybe the 65-yarder to Bauer Sharp might have been 20 yards down the field. So you didn't stretch the field. You played everything conservative. You got a bunch of turnovers, leaned on your defense, punting, field position. That's how you won the game tonight against a good defensive front. Okay. So here's my point to Landon. Okay. So Landon, this is Landon. Okay. Here's my point to Landon and to everybody else who's saying this right now that look, if you're pissed about the offense, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'd love to see LSU going out tonight and put up 450 yards and 37 points. Next week you play Southeastern. That's an FCS school. You should score 50 against them. If you don't, that's a fucking problem. If you don't score 50, it better be just because you completely have mercy on them in the second half and decide not to score 50. All right, you're playing an FCS opponent. You should beat the shit out of them. After that, you go to Ole Miss. Did y'all watch what Ole Miss did y'all see what Ole Miss and Arkansas did today, by the way? So nobody got a fucking stop in the first half in that ball game. Nobody. That was a track meet with those two teams, with Ole Miss and Arkansas. So if you go to Ole Miss in 2 weeks, so you'll be better next week, and we'll be sitting here next Saturday, and nobody's going to give LSU a lick of credit for whatever they do offensively next week. It's a lose or no contest. Like either you don't play well offensively and everyone's pissed, or you play well offensively and everyone says, "I don't care. It's Southeastern." Okay, you're in a no-win situation next week, but in 2 weeks from tonight, you're at Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat Arkansas 41-35. Arkansas scored 28 points in the first half. Taylor Green threw for 305 in this ball game. Taylor Green ran for 115 in this ball game. Arkansas put up 526 yards of offense, 305 in the air, 221 on the ground, controlled the ball for 33 minutes. Ole Miss has Sage Ryan starting at safety. All the guys they had last year that were awesome are all now in the NFL. Walter Nolan, Princely Umanmielen, Paul, all those, they're all gone. Trey Amos, they're all in the NFL now. In 2 weeks, so this is where I'll say, this is where I will concede. In 2 weeks, if LSU goes to Ole Miss and the offense sucks against that defense, we got a problem. We got a real problem. Because you should go to Ole Miss and beat the shit out of Ole Miss. And you should beat the shit out of Arkansas as well. Because your defense is great and is going to do well against those teams. But your offense should do well against those shitty defenses. I'm here to tell you, the road trip to Vanderbilt is probably going to be a harder game than the road trip to Oxford. Vanderbilt just strutted tonight into Columbia, South Carolina, Williams-Brice, and beat the shit out of Rex Specs and the Gamecocks. Well, I told you I was going 7-5, and that might have been generous. Anyway. All right. So can we agree on that? Are we good with that, y'all? Can y'all work with me to that end to say, I get it, no one's happy with the offense. Next week you got an FCS opponent. Oh, A&M scored. Oh, shit. A&M's going to win this game. They're a PAT away from winning it. Wow. A&M's going to win that game, y'all. Holy shit. 13 seconds left. 41 points. So let me ask you a question. Would you rather play in a 41-40 game or a 20-10 game? That's a good question. Why did Notre Dame go for 2? I don't know. I mean, I'm watching without the sound on. I haven't really been watching that game. What? A&M? Yeah. A&M beat Notre Dame. They're going to win it, yeah. Oh. My brother lives in South Bend. He went to Notre Dame and he works for the university now. Okay. Okay, y'all. Oh, Notre Dame fumbled the snap. Okay, that's what happened. I was about to say, that's what happened. I just saw the incomplete pass. I'm like, just a sticker on the bottom of the hat. By the way, shout out Section 103. I love that hat. If you go to Section 103, use code AFR. They'll give you 10% off. Section 103's got some great stuff. All right, let's run through game flow, y'all. Thanks for being here. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. All of our sponsors scrolling on the bottom. They're here. I got them in the description on YouTube as well. Gauntlet Light Installers, Parish Construction Roof. We got a link for 929 Misfits as well. All right, let's run through game flow, and then after game flow, I'll get to all of your questions, comments, all that sort of stuff. So we'll run through this, and then we'll hang out for as long as y'all want to hang out. We'll do game flow, or we'll do questions. I'll get to all your super chats and everything. So thanks to y'all. All right, Florida won the toss, deferred. I was at so yesterday, last evening, I was at Charles Alexander's reception for his jersey retirement. They had a reception for him at West Stadium Club. I've known Charles a long time, so he asked me to. I use MC loosely. Basically, there was a Q&A part with him where he didn't want to just give a speech. He wanted to do a Q&A. And so he asked me to come do the Q&A with him. So I got to go to the reception, and I was talking to some of his old teammates, and I don't want to call him by name, but one of Charles Alexander's teammates, one of his offensive linemen from back in the 70s, was challenging me on my opinion about you always want to defer because you want the ball, you want the opportunity to go back to back at the end of the first half, start of the second half, and you want the extra possession in the second half. He was challenging me on that. Well, there's a reason everybody does it, because statistically, the only way you have the opportunity to go back to back at the end of the first half, start of the second half, is if you're getting the ball to start the second half. And you get an extra possession in the second half if you start first. So anyway, so Florida won the toss, deferred. LSU got the ball, went 3 and out. As a matter of fact, LSU went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out on its first 3 possessions. Finally, broke through. The targeting on weeks, we talked about that on LSU's first defensive possession. Teetotal bullshit. Held the Gators to a 45-yard field goal on their opening possession. So a nice job by the defense to stiffen and hold Florida to the field goal there. Tigers couldn't do anything. Deshaun Spears came away with the interception on Florida's second possession. That was his first interception. And they were driving. I mean, they moved it into LSU territory at that point when Spears got the interception. So big day for Deshaun Spears, man. You love to see that. I know we talked about him a year ago when he came in. Reminded me as a freshman physically of Eric Reed. I'm not saying he's Eric Reed. I'm saying he reminded me as a freshman physically of Eric Reed. And really nice to see him have the night that he did tonight. Huge night for Deshaun Spears when you had to have it, when your offense didn't do much of anything. But you couldn't do anything with that. You go 3 and out, punt, they get the ball. This is where they have the 87-yard touchdown called back by holding. They end up punting 58-yard you end up punting 58-yarder. How about Grant Chadwick? Can we give a little Grant Chadwick appreciation? Talked about him throughout fall camp. He is 6'5". He kicks the shit out of the ball. I mean, it is beautiful. I mean, it is a gigantic difference. And I told you this too. Someone on staff told me, I don't know that anybody has any desire to go back and find this, but I did repeat this, that someone on staff told me they felt that he would leave LSU as the greatest punter in program history. There has to be talent there, right? And clearly there is for Chadwick. That was a 58-yarder. On the day, Chadwick punted 7 times for an average of 50.4. 4 inside the 20, 4 punts of 50 yards or more. For an offense in Florida that was struggling, you consistently made them go the length of the field. I'm telling you, I know y'all ain't happy. Like, this was a Les Miles game if ever there was one. Defense, punt, field position. LSU ain't played one of these in a long time, y'all. I mean, LSU ain't played one of these in a long-ass time. But it was one of those tonight where you had to have it. So Florida got the ball back. They had the 87-yarder call back from holding. LSU gets the ball. They put together a nice drive. You did overcome a holding on Braylon Moore and a false start on Weston Davis, coming out of a timeout, by the way. 3rd and 19, Nuss ran for 5 yards. You end up kicking the 47-yard field goal, so it's tied at 3. You hold them to a punt. Perkins almost came up with an interception. No, I'm sorry. This was the play where Perkins, 3rd and 4, Perkins is tracking down Lagway, and Lagway just gets rid of it. Perkins missed a sack by that much. 50-yard punt by Florida, 21-yard return by Xavier Thomas right there. He almost broke that one. That's the one where they shoestringed him. He returned it deep in their own territory, but returned it out to the 24-yard line. This was a massive drive. 10 plays, 76 yards, by far the best drive offensively of the day for the Tigers. 10 plays, 76 yards. It was a 3-3 ball game. You go down, you convert a 3rd and 5 with the 15-yarder to Xavier Thomas, a 3rd and 8 with the 23-yarder to Aaron Anderson. On 2nd and 8, Nick Anderson had the 9-yard reception, which is beautiful, big physical receiver, caught it out of field. Nuss had a run on that play, which was negated by holding on the second holding on Braylon Moore. And then you just couldn't overcome that penalty yardage right there. You end up kicking the field goal. I'm sorry. So on 2nd and 13, it was the Xavier Thomas touchdown. So 2nd and 13, beautiful ball by Nuss to Xavier Thomas. You're up 10-3, 7:33 to play in the half, feeling pretty good at this point. And then you let them put together a really nice scoring drive. Florida's scoring drive ended up being 10 plays, 75 yards. So after your 10-play, 76-yard drive. They put together a 10-play, 75-yard drive. Yours was 403. There was 408. Almost identical drives back to back. They overcame a false start. They converted a 3rd and 3. They converted a 3rd and 5. And then the touchdown was on 3rd and 9, actually. And then you had the unsportsmanlike conduct by the way, Lagway, if you go back and watch their touchdown drive, 3rd and 9 was the touchdown pass in the corner of the end zone. On 2nd and 9, on 2nd down, dude was wide open. Lagway just missed him. I mean, Lagway had throw 5 interceptions. You have a shitty day. Lagway had a shitty day. So it's 10-10. Tigers get the ball with 3:18 to play in the half. I tweeted at the time, like, you got to go get points here because you don't want to give them the ball back, give them an opportunity to go back-to-back end of the first half, start of the second half, and you didn't do dick because you didn't do dick offensively most of the day. You did convert a 3rd and 2, a 14-yard reception by Aaron Anderson out to the 47-yard line, and ultimately you couldn't convert. You'd face a 4th and 2. That's when you try to draw them off sides. And then ultimately you decided to punt. Shit. There. Trying to finish the channel. Sorry. My outdoor TV, I changed the channel on my phone. I got this remote app changed, and it's not connecting. Oh, there we go. Are there any games on right now? Like West Coast shit? Minnesota, Cal. Let's go. Minnesota and Cal. LFG. What do we have in it? Oh, I have Cal in this game, I think. Let's watch this game together, y'all. Y'all bet on this? I think this is one of the Otter Lock plays. I think I got Cal in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I just gave you a hey squirrel moment. Good day for your boy on the sports betting front, with the exception of Lee Sterling's lock of the world. It was Pitt laying 7.5. Pitt lost outright. Thanks for that. Do we have any open bets? What y'all think about this game? I want to bet on this. Is this second quarter? Cal? Anyway, whatever. All right. So, anyway, you end up punting right before half. Now they get the ball with 1:17 to play. They're moving. They're facing a 3rd and 7. A.J. Halsey, interception. A beautiful play by Halsey. Just great instincts. We talked about Halsey a lot during fall camp. Oh, look at this. I love that. Look at Herman. Cal plus 7.5 for $1,100. Good for you, bro. Hope it works out for you. So they get the ball with 1:17 left in the half. Looks like they have a chance now to go take the lead and go back-to-back. A.J. Halsey, beautiful play. Talked about it during fall camp. He's just such an instinctive player. He's a physical player, too. He had a hell of a hit on the sideline in the fourth quarter. Just a great player, man. I mean, when you think about what you had a year ago at that position with Sage Ryan and what you have now in A.J. Halsey, it's night and day, man. Halsey's he was a first team all conference performer last year in the Big 12. I mean, he's a dramatic upgrade. He's a physical safety who hits like a linebacker, and he's got great ball skills. You saw it on the interception. So Tigers take it at half. After the interception, they're able to kick the field goal. Clutch. Weston Davis false started. So you move back 5 more yards, but you still end up getting the field goal. So great job by Ramos. You had penalties. You had 2 holding penalties in the first half on Braylon Moore. You had unsportsmanlike conduct. You had a false start on Tyree Adams. Sorry, Tyree Adams was the false start. You had a pass interference in the first half as well. But the Halsey interception, the Xavion touchdown, the Spears interception, the 58-yard punt, which flipped the field. You had a lot of good in the first half. So you go in a half leading 13-10. They get the ball to start the second half. They face they get 2 first downs. They face in a 3rd and 9. Cooley had a pressure, and then Keys and Patrick Payton shared the sack for a loss of 9. Tigers get the ball, 3 and out, punt, 57-yard punt, surprise, surprise. Grant Chadwick was awesome. So 57-yard punt, 20-yard return. The 20-yard return was disappointing because they started at their own 45 right there. And this is where Deshaun Spears comes up with the pick six on a 3rd and 18 and would start. And what prompted the 3rd and 18 on first down was the Harold Perkins PBU. That's when he was at the end. Remember, he reached out, like he's engaged with the tackle. He reaches out and bats the ball. And if the tackle didn't push him, he might have tipped that to himself and intercepted it. But so it was 2nd and 10. They get flagged for holding. They get a 2-yard reception. It's 3rd and 18. And then Spears gets the pick six. And LSU's up 20-10. That'd be the final score of the game, 20-10. But there was a lot more to like in the ball game. After you go up 20-10, there's 8:08 to play in the ball game when they get it. That's where this is when West Weeks got hurt. It was right about the 8-minute mark of the ball game. And I thought, let me see what the final stat line was for Tylen Singleton. He ended up with 2 tackles. So Tylen Singleton came up with 2 tackles in the ball game. It was Singleton. So you had Devon Keys and Tylen Singleton. And you had 2 young linebackers, in the ball game right there. So it was good to see the young linebackers in a pinch come in for 2 veteran linebackers and play exceptionally well. If you missed it, Devon Keys led the team with 14 tackles, filling in for Whit Weeks in this ball game. They punt, 2 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. First down, Aaron Anderson, 31-yarder. I mean, this was the drive where you kind of feel like, all right, they're gonna go make something happen here. They end up with a 4th and 1, and this was kind of the decision that BK had to make, where you're around midfield and he punted. And after the game, in the post-game interview on TV, he said, there's times where I would have gone for it normally, but the way this game played out, you make decisions based on the game. And I think this is one of those games, man, where LSU's up 10, it's 4th and 1 around midfield. Lagway at this point has thrown 3 interceptions already. They put together 1 scoring drive. Your defense is playing great. You're up 2 scores. Make them drive the length. But I would have loved right there for them to go for it, but do you want to give them the ball at midfield and give them the opportunity to get back in this ball game? And ultimately, they punt. It's a 49-yarder. This is the one that went out of bounds at the 2-yard line that Chris Hilton grabbed. But again, it was a beautiful punt by Chadwick. It was going out of bounds anyway. So it's the right call. You pin them back at the 2-yard line. They end up getting a first down, but they end up punting the football to you. They bang a 51-yarder, but then you get the ball at your own 19. The first play, 65 yards, Bauer Sharp. Now, this was the point in the game where if you're pissed, I get why you're pissed. You get the 65-yarder to Bauer Sharp. Looks like you finally softened him up. You're going for the death blow. And after the Bauer Sharp 65-yarder, you've got the ball at the Florida 16-yard line. This is the sequence. Xavion Thomas reception for no gain. On 2nd and 10, you hand the ball to Juwan Johnson, who fumbles, and you lose 17 yards. And then on 3rd and 27, Garrett Nussmeier throws one of the most boneheaded interceptions of his life. You were at the 16-yard line. First of all, I don't know why Caden Durham's not in the ballgame. I get fresh legs and all that shit. Caden Durham's your best running back. I need Caden Durham to get the lion's share of these carries. This is one of the things we talk about sometimes where I think they're doing too much. I think this is one of those instances. It's your first down at their 16, up 10. Here comes the the death blow here. And you throw a 1-yard pass to Xavion Thomas for no gain. You hand it to Juwan Johnson, who fumbles. You lose 17 yards, and then Nuss throws an inexplicable interception, especially up 10. It's even more mind-boggling because of the situation and what they were in a year ago. I mean, a year ago against A&M, similar. A year ago against A&M, your defense is dominating. Not a great offensive day, but you're up 10. You're suffocating them. And then he did the same shit. Rolling the sideline, threw it back toward the middle of the field. Same shit. I mean, that's the type of thing that you would love to see, that you want to see the player grow from that mistake. And through the first 2 weeks, he'd been as far as protecting the football, flawless, making the right decision with the football. That was awful. I hope that's just an outlier. I hope that's a one-off. I mean, through 3 games, that's the only time you could point and say, man, that's a terrible decision you made. So, I mean, that was the opportunity to put the game away. I mean, you score there and you got 3 scores when Lagway's playing the way he is. It's over. Instead, they get an interception and 10:44 to play in the ball game. I mean, it ain't over. It's a 2-score game. But that's when Tamarcus Cooley, and they're driving, by the way. I mean, they get down to the LSU 37-yard line. They're driving after the Nuss interception. They're driving. And Lagway throws the interception deep middle to Cooley, who intercepts it in the end zone. Tigers just sit on it. They run it 3 times, just running clock, 3 and out, punt, 58-yard bomb by Grant Chadwick, 4 punts, more than 50 yards. Incredible. So they get the ball with 4:50 to go, and Lagway would throw his 5th interception, this time to DJ Pickett. So great to see DJ Pickett, great ball skills, just out there reading the quarterback like a friggin' praying mantis out there. Incredible. So, all right. That's the game flow. Let's get to y'all's questions and comments. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us here. Please smash the like button if you're on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Appreciate it very much, sincerely, everybody for being there with us. All right. I'll get to the super chats first. Thanks for being there, guys. David Tolson, O-line and Weeks injury is concerning. Weeks targeting call was sus. Putter was huge. Defense won the game. Defense won the game. If you're just joining, you missed it. I'll say it again. I'm not happy with the offense. I'm not explaining away the offense. The point I'll make is this was one of those days where there was one thing that could have beat you. It was their defensive front, and you didn't let it beat you. Weren't going to let it beat you. So I don't know that they even took a shot downfield. So it's the way the game played out. But the next 2 weeks, if the next 2 weeks we're sitting here on Saturday having the same conversation, then I'm with all of you. Because you got an FCS school next week, and then you go play Ole Miss, who just gave up 500 yards to Arkansas. Like, if we're having the same conversation in the next 2 weeks, real problems. Like, real problems. Jacob, how about the defense, especially DJ, Pickett, Zach Weeks? Offense still got some work some kinks. Good to see Zach Weeks get some action tonight, for sure. Ski, yes, defense wins championship. 5 interceptions, 10 points is unacceptable. No disagreement. I mean, you get 5 interceptions. I don't think, hang on. The Halsey interception led to 3 points. I think that's the only points you got. Your offense got off a turn. Yeah, because the other one was the pick 6 by Spears. So your offense scored 3 points off of 4 turnovers, and then there was a pick 6. So you had 4 interceptions. Your offense scored 3 points. Now, the last one, you would have gotten points with game end, right? I mean, Caden Durham, let's just call it what it is. Caden Durham ripped off a 51-yarder, and then you sat on the ball at the end of the ball game. So you could have gotten points there. But yes, point remains. Carrie, forgive me a stupid question. What's the deal with the lack of attempts to Hilton? So, say it again, man. No, it's okay. I mean, any question's fine. So, Chris Hilton's a deep threat receiver. If you're going to be at, near, around the line of scrimmage, that's going to be Xavion Thomas and Aaron Anderson. They're both awesome at that. Chris is going to be a stretch the field guy. Barry and Brown is better. And tonight, they didn't stretch the field. Like, I don't know. Maybe I think the pass to Bauer Sharp might be the only pass. There's probably others. I'm just not thinking of it all. I don't have it charted, but a pass that traveled 20 yards in the air, the pass to Bauer Sharp is probably the only one, if that one went 20 yards. So it's the way they played the game tonight, man. They didn't stretch the field. And if they're going to do that, Barry and Brown's going to get those targets first. Hey, Kyle, go Tigers. Go Cramens for watching the show. Tigers 3-0. Reed, run block and horrendous for the second year in a row. Sloan and Brad Davis cannot waste his championship caliber defense. What a 180 from 2 years ago when they wasted championship caliber offense. Cost, what's up, man? Tony, thanks for being there. Live in Lambeau. I agree with not letting Florida's D-line beat you, but Sean Payton used to say he wants to dial up a few shots, perhaps to stretch the D. No disagreement, man. Like, and I'll say also, like, what's to say? Like, this is where one of the things that you and I don't know is we don't know the play call. They might have called some deep shots, and maybe they weren't there. Maybe that's times where Nuss started rolling out because he was pressured in his face and threw it away. Like, maybe it wasn't there. Like, maybe they called a few of those, and we just didn't see it because they weren't able to execute it. Which that's the disadvantage of not knowing the play call. Hey, Brian, this was an exact inverse of last year's game. LSU was outgained 1 by 10. Not great by Sloan and Davis. Christian should have won the game 34-10. Andrew, Matt Sloan needs to be fired. We had 3.8 yards per carry running on third. We run with 2 minutes to go. Davis needs to be moved to a recruiting position. Shit's getting old quick. Nuss watching a holding flag and throwing an interception. I wonder if he thought the flag might have been on the defense and he thought it was a free play. I don't know. I'll be curious to hear his explanation because that was horrendous. That was horrendous. Maybe he thought he had a free play. I don't know. I hope that's the case, that he thought he had a free play, because that is his worst individual play of the season, no doubt. Yeah, the people who are thinking they're going to fire the OC or change it, it's stupid. You also, again, I'll say this again, like, I just happen to take a more measured approach than most. I'm not saying it's good, bad, right, wrong. It's just what I do. Okay, you want to set shit on fire and throw shit at your TV, you do you, I'm going to do me. I take a more measured approach because I've just been in this shit professionally for 20 years, and I know the risks of saying you want to burn shit down after week 3. Like, I'll remind you, last year, Ohio State offensively sucked for much of the year. They won the national championship. Like, they actually lost to a 500 Michigan team in the final week of the regular season. Then they sort of completely reinvented their offense in the playoff, caught fire, won the national championship. But for much of the season, the narrative about Ohio State a year ago was Chip Kelly didn't know how to use his personnel. It's a long season, so I get it. Like, y'all want to melt, it's fine. But 2 weeks ago, when we were doing this, when they beat Clemson, nobody was saying shit about the offense. Because it was a really tough defense. Well, I got news for you. Coach, they played a great defense again tonight. Like, Florida shut out their first opponent, allowed 16 points last week to South Florida. Like, that's a good defense. They have pros on their defense. It's a really good defense. I'm not saying it's an excuse for LSU's offense scoring 13 points on a night where you got 5 turnovers. But what I will say is Clemson, Florida are going to be two of the, when the season's over, we're going to look back, those are going to be two of the better defenses you play. The next two, you should wreck shit. If you don't go have a massive day against Southeastern and a massive day offensively at Ole Miss, then I'll be with all of you. Like, it's a real problem at that point. Offense looks different, same OC. And they also lost 4 games a year ago. So would you rather do? Sit back and throw it 60 times a game? I mean, that's what everybody bitched about all offseason, is they didn't try to establish a run. I mean, they were 60-40 pass run a year ago. Tonight, they ran it 25 times. They threw it 27 times. They're attempting balance, which they didn't have a year ago. They're attempting balance. So what do you want them to do? You want them to be in balance? You want them to go throw it 40 times and run it 15? They can do that shit. We saw it last year, and they went 8-4. Okay, let's go. Let's see. Matt, get a remote coach. You're doing by yourself a disservice by half-assing this. All love, constructive criticism. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sit here and do it by myself. So if you don't like it, leave. And I'm not half-assing it. I'm just sitting here talking about the game. If you don't like it, that's fine. No problem. There's 3,000 people watching this who seem to be having an okay time. So if you don't like it, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. I'm good. Greg, Kelly went ape on the first reporter of his post-game presser tonight asking about the offense. Oh, I can't wait to hear it. Dwayne, why is Hill not being targeted? Just talked about that. Ultra Raider, seems like Nuss is injured. I do not believe Nuss is injured. I know people have talked about that. I heard the Nuss is injured rumors, the oblique shit, the Saturday of that final walkthrough when he didn't throw a pass. People were starting that oblique shit. When I tell you I have asked a dozen people on that staff, coaches, people like, I'm not going to say, like, I have asked a dozen people independently, and they all say the same thing. Like, they wouldn't all be lying. I don't think Nussmeier is injured. Oh, man. Got through for 4,000 yards in the SEC a year ago. He's a projected first-round pick, but he's garbage. Great content. Really great point. Thank you for the brilliant perspective. I appreciate it. Can you stop glazing Nuss? Okay. It's the same guy. I didn't say he was the best quarterback in the country. I said he was the leading returning passer in college football from a year ago, which he is. He threw for 4,000 yards a season ago, which is the leading returning passer in college football. It's a great advantage having someone that's done it on the road in this conference, experienced highs, lows, good, bad. That's all a great advantage, as opposed to DJ Lagway, who I'm sure probably doesn't, or maybe does throw it better than your Pee Wee kids that you coach, and who threw 5 interceptions tonight. So fuck you. Chandler just got home for the game. Defense for real. Be lying if I didn't say I was concerned with the offensive production. That's fine. I'm not excusing the offensive production. I'm just saying I'm willing to say Clemson's defense really good, Florida's defense really good. I know what they were doing with the game plan tonight. It was get rid of the ball and don't let happen tonight what happened last year, which was you dominated the yardstick and their defensive line fucked you up. And you lost the game because of their defensive line. It was so clear tonight they were just not going to let that happen again. So, okay, next week you play an FCS opponent. And then the next week you play Ole Miss, whose defense is shit. If the next 2 weeks, I'm telling you all this, I'm conceding this to all of you. If in the next 2 weeks against the next two opponents, the offense doesn't get going, then I'll be with you. Like, then I will have my hand firmly placed on the panic button offensively. Has there been an FBS team with 5 interceptions, only score 13 offensive points? I don't know. Yes, it happened tonight. Let's see. Curious to hear your take on Clemson. Did we break them or are they not good? I actually think. So I don't know if you watched that game, the Clemson. I watched the Clemson Georgia Tech game. Clemson missed a field goal. They had a drive at the start of the second half where they went right down to the goal line and Klubnik threw an interception in the end zone. There was another play where Klubnik, and then Klubnik fumbled early in the game on a running play, and Georgia Tech ended up getting 3 points. I mean, that's like a minimum 13-point swing right there. They just didn't play a great game, and credit Georgia Tech because we talked about all week. Georgia Tech's a really good team. If you listen to our pick'em segment on AFR, like I really, really struggled. I picked Clemson hesitantly pick Clemson, but Clemson should have won that game. They had some self-inflicted bullshit that cost them that game. But they've only got one conference loss. So they're still very much a team that could end up in the ACC championship, which is what happened a year ago, right? I mean, we talked about this with Clemson a year ago. They lost to Georgia. They lost at home to Louisville. They lost at home to South Carolina, but they only had one league loss. And so they went to the ACC championship game and they ended up playing SMU and beat them. The only ranked opponent they have left in the conference is Florida State, and they get that in Clemson. So if they beat Florida State, when they'll be back in the ACC championship game, could end up being a playoff team. As Brian Kelly stopped golfing, develop a fucking offense. Next time you see it, my God, what a bum. My mom can do better. I don't think Brian Kelly golfs during the season. Is he golfing during the season? I don't think he's golfing during the season. Golfs in the offseason. Offense looked bad out there. Everyone's looking for answers. At the end of the day, I'd rather have this defense over the 23 offense. That is kind of the question, right? Like, would you rather the great offense or the great defense? Truth is, you're going to need balance. I mean, if you want to win, you can win games. Like LSU won games with a great offense. They didn't win a championship. LSU can win games this year with this defense, but the offense got to get going. They got too much skill on offense not to get going. You got a fifth-year senior quarterback. You've got great receivers. Like they are objectively great receivers, and it's not like they can be. I mean, Aaron Anderson was your leading receiver a year ago. Chris Hilton, we've seen be an impact guy down the field. Barian Brown, we've seen in the SEC be great. Nick Anderson set a receiving touchdown record at Oklahoma. Like in that offense, which is, think about the Oklahoma offenses over the last 20 years with the Heisman quarterbacks they've had, right? Like they've got talent at receiver. Like that's undeniable. I mean, the talent's there. We got to get going. For sure. Let's see. F the haters, Matt. Thanks for keeping Whiskey Wine alive. Fuck that guy. I don't care. Like, listen, man. I'll tell you this. Whether y'all believe this or not, I really don't care. But I'll tell you, like, when you do this business, and this is the way I've said it this way for years. Like the Beatles, right? The Beatles are like the greatest band of all time. Record sales, notoriety, whatever. There are people that hate the Beatles. It is impossible to have everybody like your shit. It's just impossible. So who the fuck am I to sit here and like bemoan someone not liking my show or what I do? I don't give a fuck. It's good. Like if every one of you decided tomorrow, fuck Scone, hate him, never listen to him again, okay. Thanks for all the great years. I've had a great run. Really enjoyed it. I'll go sell roofs for Parish. I'll do something. I'll figure it out. I'll be good. I'm good. Really, really promise you I'm good. Projected 8.5 wins after they were projected 8.5 wins at the start of the season. I mean, that's been the win total all year. I don't know. We went. Let's see. I agree. I didn't specify on it. I remember seeing a single deep shot. Sorry, I didn't see it. All right. Thanks for being here with us, y'all. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Rex, ND lost again. They did. Man, these comments go fast. Let's see. Kelly said calf injury for Weeks. Doesn't think it's serious. Man, I hated seeing West Weeks on the sideline with a towel on his head kind of hanging. I mean, it looked like he looked sad. I don't know what to read. I'm not reading anything. I don't know, but what I'll say is initially on radio, Gordy had reported knee. and then later clarified that it was calf. So strained calf is what they reported on radio. And if Kelly said calf after the game, calf. So we'll see what that means. The great news is you've got Southeastern this week, so you can rest guys. And then you've got Ole Miss in an open date before South Carolina comes here. And South Carolina got the shit kicked out of them today by Vanderbilt on their home field, by the way. Look, we all get stuff right and wrong. Like, one thing I got right was South Carolina. That team is a fraud. Everyone who thought that was a contender, they're a fucking fraud. Their defense was really good last year. They lost all those stuff. Dylan Stewart's great, but like they lost him in Worry, Tonka Hemingway, shit. The other end, defensive player of the year. I'm blanking. Sorry, y'all. Fucking guy was defensive player of the year last year. I'm blanking on his name. Anyway, like their defense takes a giant step back, and I've been telling y'all Rex Bex ain't good. I mean, Rex Bex is a great athlete. He is not a great quarterback. For half the season last year, he couldn't hit water, fell out of a boat. And if you watch him this year, he sucked against Virginia Tech. They sucked last week against South Carolina State, where they won like 38-10 or something, but they had 2 punt return touchdowns last week. Their offense did dick against an FCS team. Like, Kennard, thank you, Kyle Kennard. Thank you, iComedies. Thank you. I totally blanked on his name. Thank you. Anyway, all that to say, I think here's the highlights of South Carolina Vanderbilt as we speak. Bro, Vanderbilt in consecutive weeks has gone on the road and beat the shit out of Virginia Tech and beat the shit out of South Carolina. Going 31-7 today. Tell you what, man, a couple of years ago, I remember being at SC Media Days when Clark Lee was doing his main room talk, and he said Vanderbilt is the best program in the country. And I laughed at him. And that's objectively a funny thing. I mean, it's not good. But this is cool. How about this? We love you. I love you too. Thank you so much. That's very kind. I love kind people. We need more love, especially after this week. What a week, man. There's a lot of tragedy in our country this week, and on the anniversary of 9/11. So I love all of you as well. We can disagree on football philosophy or who wins games and shit like that, but the truth is none of that actually matters when you look at the big picture of life. And I do love everybody. So thanks to everybody who watches. I really do appreciate it. Sincerely. You know what's funny, Robert? So Vandy's going to give us hell. So we guarantee, like 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge did not do the opening game road trip this year. Like we went to Lambeau in 2016. We went to LA in 2021 for the UCLA game at the Rose Bowl. Went to Vegas last year. We did not do the I love you too. We didn't go to Clemson because we're fucking sick of doing these trips. All the build up, we go do the shows, they lose. It's such an effort to take shows on the road, our staff, do that whole thing, sell it, sponsors, set like the whole, it's a big fucking thing. And so we're like, let's go to Vanderbilt this year. The LSU Alumni Association doing a trip to Vanderbilt. Nashville's a great city. We're doing AFR at Garth Brooks' bar, Friends in Low Places. You party with the Alumni Association, all that stuff. So we're like, that's what we'll do. LSU beats Clemson, and now Vanderbilt looks legit. Bro, if they fucking lose to Vanderbilt, I swear to God, I'm never going to a road game again. Let's see. Love to hear your take on Delane. He's awesome, man. I mean, I think Mansour Delane is the first lockdown corner LSU's had since Stingley. I'm not saying he's Stingley. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying he's Stingley. I'm saying he's the first lockdown corner they've had since Stingley. I think Eli Ricks could have been that. He transferred, went to Bama, got hurt, went undrafted because of the injury. But I mean, he made the Eagles, and he's playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. He won the Super Bowl. He's playing the fucking Super Bowl last year. But I'll tell y'all, man, a lot of people, I'll give you a cautionary tale here. So a lot of people were ready to run Corey Raymond out of town. A lot of people blamed Corey Raymond for all that shit that happened with the defense after he left. I try to tell y'all over and over and over again, like, Corey Raymond wasn't the problem. And he had recruited Ricks and Dwight McGlothern and Jay Ward and like good, talented players. And Ed gets fired in 21. Kelly doesn't retain him. All those guys transfer. And then you bring in Brian Polian, who's recruiting fucking 3 stars out of Vegas, play cornerback. And DBU went to shit. But look at what Corey Raymond has built in a very short amount of time, both through high school recruiting and the portal. I mean, PJ Woodland was a 3-star, but Corey Raymond knows what the fuck he's looking at. He said, I want that guy. Went and got him, and he's starting for you now as a sophomore. DJ Pickett, 5-star number 1 cornerback in the country. They went and got Mansour Delane in the portal. But Mansour Delane, to answer, long way of answer your question, if I'm answering it. I don't even know if I'm answering it. But Delane, I think, is great. He's long, he's athletic, he's got great ball skills, he can tackle in space. He's a great like this. Look, thank you. Yes. Hey man, look, Deuce Chestnut, great example, right? Like they went in but here's the thing. When they went in the portal, the first year, Kelly was here in 22, and they got Greg Brooks and Jarpinar Converse and Makai Garner and Joe Fouché. They hit on all those guys. And I think it put it masked the deficiency. And so they went back into the portal that second year and got more talented guys. Denver Harris, Deuce Chestnut was, like a freshman all ACC at Syracuse, and we thought, and Zy Alexander was an FCS All-American. We thought, well, they just got better players, and they just missed on all of them. J.K. Johnson, they just missed. They missed on all those guys. Who's the other guy from Ohio State? It was J.K. Johnson and who's the other one? Shit. Who's the other defensive back from Ohio State they got? Was injured. Zy Alexander was solid. He was your best corner a year ago. But the point being, like, an FCS transfer that ended up being a 7th round pick was your best cornerback. That's a problem. I'm not saying he can't play on the team. I'm saying, like, when that's your best guy, that's a problem. Who am I thinking? Oh, the other one from Ohio, Jair Brown. Thank you. That's it. Jair Brown. Thank you. That's the other one I was thinking of. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging out, man. Big shout out to Parish Construction Roofing, parishbuilt.com. Roof repairs, roof replacements, commercial, residential, do gutters, soft wash, you do everything. Certified, fortified roofing company. We'd love to help you all out. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. I'll get you a Parish hat, shirt. You want to let them come to your house. You don't want me on your roof. Trust me. You do not want me on your roof. My job within our ecosystem of all the partners in Parish is make the phone ring. We all know our jobs. Mine is to make the phone ring. You do not want me on your roof, but I'll come to your house if you want. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Hey, remember Got Light installers, gotlitlights.com, gotlitlights.com. I got it pinned. I got Gotlit pinned in the chat. Gotlitlights.com. It's awesome company. Like I've joked about this for years, but I'm kind of serious, but joking. So Erica loves Christmas so much. I think her celebrity hall pass would be Santa Claus. You know, like she loves Christmas. And I don't do decorations. I'm the least handy guy in the world. So when we moved into this house, true story, we moved into this house, she wanted lights and I was like, fuck no, I'm not doing it. So I went and bought those star showers. It's like the thing that you put a stake in the ground, it projects the little twinkling lights on the house. That's what we had for like the first 7 years we lived here. Until it got lit. And so they'll come, like, what do you want? Just the front of your house? Do you want front and roof? Do you want trees wrapped? Like, what do you want? Lights? Do you want yard decorations as well? So, like, I can't give you a price because it depends on how big your house is and what specifically you want. But they come and install. It's beautiful. After Christmas, they come take it down and haul it away. You do nothing except enjoy beautiful lights. GotLitLights.com. And I should mention this as well. If you think, oh, I'll wait till it's September 13th, I'll wait until like November. No, they start doing their installations like late October, November. Like by Thanksgiving, they're done. So don't think you're going to wait till Thanksgiving and then call them like they're done by then. So call now to get on their books for the holiday season. So if you're interested in any way, call them now to get the estimate. GotLitLights.com, GotLitLights.com. This is awesome, man. 27 points in 3 games. I mean, and when you think about it, one of those was a busted coverage against Tech, and one was after a field goal was after the fumble by the Bauer Sharp fumble against Clemson. So 10 of the 27 points they've allowed have kind of been bullshit. So tell y'all, man, it's super, super nice to watch an LSU team with a great defense again. Shit. Burn that ash. All right. I think we'll wrap this thing up, man. I got to go record Locked On. By the way, if you're not subscribed to Locked On LSU, some of you may not even know I do Locked On LSU, but it's awesome. It's been great. Super grateful to everybody who's watched, listened, supported Locked On LSU. In August, we had the #1 show in the college channel. And we had I think we're 5th overall in the entire network. So there's like 4. Well, I'll tell you right now, hang on. So it was Bills, Packers, Bengals, Raiders, LSU. We had 4 NFL shows, then Locked On LSU was the 5th most listened to show in the entire network for August. So sincerely thank you to everybody who's been subscribed to Locked On LSU and who's there every day. I like to say it's like AFR, 3-hour show, boiled down into like 30 minutes of LSU content every day. So love it if you subscribe if you're not there yet. All right. Good place to be. Enjoy, man. He's going to be head coach soon. Your team every day. All right, let's get out of here, y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Again, all of our sponsors scrolling on the bottom. They're linked in the description on YouTube. I'll get everybody tagged on Facebook as well. Thanks for hanging out here. Tigers win 20-10, 3-0. A breather next week against Southeastern. Get healthy. Go to Ole Miss in 2 weeks and beat the shit out of the Rebels and keep cruising toward what we all want the end game to be for this team, man. They got to get better, keep getting better, but they're in a great spot right now after winning this game against Florida. Want to know in the SEC? Keep on climbing. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.